everyone, and welcome to another edition of Crew Travel right here on Yachting International Radio. My name is Rhea. I am your host, and I'm very pleased to welcome back Lee Harris, my co-host from ATPI Travel. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Yeah, not too bad at all. He's picking that mid-season's now getting in full swing. We've just had the Monaco Grand Prix. So it's nice and busy. Good.
Yeah, well, the blue skies are in, sun tanning is on. That means that the season is well and truly started. And of course, I think really traditionally, it's the sort of Palma Yacht Show is kind of the kickoff of the Mediterranean season, really.
Indeed. Yeah. We're a good few weeks in now, but it's it's good. It's looking busy as well. So that's good news.
Right. Well, starting off with not so good news, there is a Scottish strike coming up.
Yeah, there are. Workers at Edinburgh and Glasgow Airports have threatened a summer strike in a row over pay. And 600 workers, including dispatchers, allocators, airside agents and controllers, have rejected two separate offers by Menzies Aviation at the airport, that according to the Unite Union. Now, by 300 Menzies Aviation staff rejected a base uplift worth around 4.25% at Glasgow Airport, whereas around 300 workers at Edinburgh also rejected an offer worth 4%. Now, the Menzies ground handling and passenger service work provides support for carriers including American Airlines, British Airways, Aer Lingus, Emirates, Lufthansa, Logan Air, United Airlines, and Air Transat. Now, United Industrial Officer Carrie said summer strike assumes Edinburgh and Glasgow airports because the offers on the table for Menzies aren't good enough. If the company fails to table or offer to our members, United will have no option but to balance numbers for strikes over peak summer days. As we always say, any crew who are travelling out of Scotland or back into Scotland, please keep contact on ourselves. We try to just to get up to whether strikes happen and when they're going to be.
Well, the summer season is traditionally one of those seasons where if you're going to take any sort of action, it is now. And of course, we have August to look forward to in France.
Indeed. Yeah. That'll be a few strikes. I'm sure we'll be talking about actions there soon.
Yeah, guaranteed. Moving on to Cathay Pacific.
Yeah, so Cathay Pacific. The Cathay Pacific customers can use Apple's Share Item Location feature to privately, securely share the location of their AirTag or Find My Network accessories with Cathay Pacific's baggage teams, and that's to locate their missing or dead bags. Now, in order to share the location of the AirTags, Find My Network accessories airline, customers must first share item location link in the Find My app on their Apple device, and then share the link via email directly with the baggage service teams at their arrived airports. Now, the link is added to the customer's missing or to the baggage file from which the one carrier's global airport teams can then locate the bag and expedite the repatriation process. Now, for customers' privacy and security, location sharing will automatically end as soon as the customer is routed with their bag. It also be stopped by the customer at any time and will automatically expire after 7 days.
I think that is one of the scariest things. Aside from just being in the air in a huge tin can, that is one of the scariest things that, you always worry about is when you get to your destination, not finding your luggage.
Oh, absolutely. Touch wood, I've never lost my bags, but I think it wasn't Western, but it was Fort Lauderdale. I got quite panicked on. I was the last one or couldn't find bags, and somebody had graciously taken my bag off of the belt and moved over to the side. I didn't know. So, and even then, it is just a panic, especially if you're only for a few days, because by the time you get the bag back, you're probably on your way home anyway.
Well, I remember the one time that I did lose my luggage. I had been so smart at packing, I took 2 suitcases, and in the one suitcase is where I put every single pair of shoes I had. And I think I've said this to you before, but every single pair of shoes, because I didn't want it to be in with my clothes. And wouldn't you know it, the one bag that I lost was every single pair of shoes.
I can imagine as a woman, that's not good. That's not good at all.
Well, nowadays I only own 2 pairs of shoes because I just can't be bothered. But that was in the day where I was like in my early 20s and it really mattered, what my feet looked like.
Yeah.
Not that it doesn't matter. Yeah. I'm going to stop while I'm ahead. Never mind.
Yeah, I would stop now. That's a good idea.
What's up with the EU and eGates?
Yeah, so travellers are welcome to prospect an end to long queues at EU airports following this week's agreement between the UK and the EU on eGates. But crew travelling this summer will not, unfortunately, see the bits. Now, on getting the deal last Monday, Prime Minister Keir Starmer said British travellers would be able to use eGates when they travel through passport control, rather than having to wait in line for passports to be stamped, and called for EU members to stay act without delay. However, an explicit document issued by the KCON makes it clear it will not kick in until the EU's biometric entry exit system, which is now due to October, is introduced. The document states the mission has confirmed that there are no legal barriers to gate use for UK nationals travelling to or from EU member states after the introduction of the EU's entry exit system. Now, the EES is set to be rolled over 6 months, suggesting use of the EES might not be readily available to UK travellers until at least next spring or summer.
And there has been some transatlantic route cancellations.
Yeah, now, as we said, as the med season gets into full swing, there's disappointing news this week. US crew with Airlines cancelling 8 transatlantic routes. The routes being cut are as follows: United Airlines Newark to Tenerife, North Atlantic's Miami to Oslo, North Atlantic's Miami to Berlin, Lufthansa's Paris to Frankfurt, Lufthansa's Miami to Munich, KLM's Miami Amsterdam, Aer Lingus' Vegas to Dublin, American Airlines Miami to Paris. As you can see, quite a few routes have been cancelled. Now, some of the routes are not actually being suspended completely, either being axed to low demand, over poor profitability, or operational restriction, or they are simply being as scheduled that they operated in the season. And now, again, any crew, any flights to the med season, please feel free to reach out. I'll be happy to help. As you can see, the flights have already been sold.
Well, a lot of this has to do with all this tariff nonsense, too. I mean, people just aren't traveling to the United States. You see some of these numbers that are popping up in the news. And, you know, the U.S. as a whole has just taken a hit when it comes to overseas travelers. So if you got empty planes.
Yeah, 100%. And I've never, when I went to West Palm, I've never known a flight so empty. It was because there was myself and probably about 10 people. The economy, it was completely dead. All right, it was last flight in the morning, but even still, the flight was barely 30 full. I would, which is highly unusual. And these apply to New York as well. It wasn't going to some sort of far flights in the US. It's a main route, which is usually well serviced and lots of. It was probably about 5%. It's important. This is the knock-on effect. You've got Transatlantic that have been cancelled. Wouldn't be surprised more follow.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's only going to get worse. I saw that Florida has had a record few months, but you can sort of put that out. But statistically, just because Florida had a good month, it's a whole big country, and there's a whole lot of other states out there that are really, really feeling the hit. And when you take a look at people's opinions across the board, it's just because they're afraid to go to the States now, which is, I mean, I think the States have even been put on the human watches list or human rights watch list now.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, it is. It's tough, and that is the problem, isn't it? It is going to become more difficult. And if you see flights being killed, that means that the flights are already in there to go up. So, it's not good for the people who travel a crew. That's got a little bit more good this week.
Right. Well, once again, I have to say thank you, Lee. And of course, if you have any questions for Lee, or if you want to touch base with him, book your travel, etc., we'll make sure to have all of his information below this interview when it airs. So thank you once again, Lee.
No, always a pleasure. I'll see you next week.
You've been watching another edition of Crew Travel right here on Yachting International Radio. My name is Rhea. I have been your host. And on behalf of Lee and myself, we'll see you here again next week.